back and better than ever, dribbling around episode 3 here with Jaden Becker, Connor Glunt, and Dane Richardson. Gentlemen, not much news going around in the NBA or college basketball this week, but are we ready to go for episode 3?
Oh, of course, always ready.
Let's do it.
Okay, so there is some news in the NBA. Kyrie Irving and some other NBA players, they were joined on a Zoom call by, I believe, 180 to 200 NBA and WNBA players. And Kyrie Irving said something smelled a little fishy about the league restart and saying he wants to promote more change and he's not going to play until there's fully social reform, while there's other players like LeBron James and Austin Rivers who put out a message yesterday saying that they should play. They should play. Now, granted, LeBron's going for a championship, but they should play and they can still create change if they play. My question for you is, do you think the league will restart?
I don't think it will personally. I think it will personally. I still think it's going to go on. I see the point Kyrie is making, and it's a completely valid point. He wants to keep the focus on this change that is coming across the country, and he doesn't want basketball to interfere. And then there's also like the counterpoint that Austin Rivers mentioned last night, that basketball could help promote these changes. So I still think that as long as the bubble is secure, which is still going to be the primary focus, and enough players can still hop on board that, yes, we are not only going to play basketball in a safe environment, finish the season, but we will also promote societal change. I think all three of those can still happen, and we'll get a playoff and NBA champion.
Jaden.
Hey, listen, I understand completely where Kyrie Irving's coming from. He wants to continue to promote change, but why does Kyrie Irving always have to be the one in the middle of it? And it's always everything with him. You see Kyrie Irving, and most of his career, especially with the Celtics, when he was expected to be the leader of that team, he ended up having to leave that team because he couldn't lead it, So now that he is at the head of this charge, right, and obviously a commendable charge, you have to wonder why. You have to wonder why. And I understand that, yes, he wants to continue this change, but fans that are fans of the NBA want to see these players play, and they've waited so long, and it was one of these seasons that coming into this season, it was pretty tough to call a winner, and now that we're not going to get a finish of it as of yet, and we're going to have to wait until late July to find out who's going to be the winner of it. Just having another roadblock in the way is just such a stab in the heart to a lot of fans.
Exactly, and we're all coming from a fan's perspective, of course, if we think about it. But at the same time, you do have to understand where Kyrie Irving is coming from. Dwight Howard also spoke out. He's siding with Kyrie Irving, and it'll be interesting to see. Are more players going to take Kyrie's side? Are more players take LeBron's side? And obviously, that might depend on whether their team's in contention for a championship. I know Dwight Howard's team is, but a lot of people were yelling at Kyrie Irving saying, oh, his team's not in contention for a championship. That's why he's doing this. No, I don't think that's not what it's about.
But if KD was playing with Kyrie at this moment, I think he would be clamoring to get on the court. I think so. I could be very wrong, but if KD was playing that whole season and they had that big playoff push, I think he would also be clamoring to go play.
I'm not sure, maybe, but I think Kyrie is focused on the social reform, which of course needs to happen. And like I said, I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, I hope they play, but if they don't, obviously it's understandable, and we understand the message they're trying to get across, which is obviously very important. Switching, some happier news. Nikola Jokic, the man looks 40 pounds thinner. I love the pose, Jaden. Love the pose. 40 pounds thinner. I mean, I could be wrong with that estimate, but does this help or hurt the Nuggets? I mean, he likes to use bully ball inside. I mean, maybe he can run the floor a little bit better, but that's not his game. His game is post fadeaways, bully it down in the post, pass from the post. So does it help or hurt the Nuggets, Connor?
Let's use the term bully ball a little bit loosely, because it's not like he's just ramming his body into these post defenders. He's literally just standing flat-footed and hitting these post moves. So I just think this makes him more durable for the playoffs, because, I mean, you look at last year, I think there was some double overtime game against Portland that I remember that was just an absolute marathon that, I mean, he played the entire game, but I just think that now he can only improve from this, whether it's durability, agility, everything. His game wasn't predicated on just overpowering others. It was mainly skill, but now he'll have that extra athleticism in his back pocket.
Mm-hmm. Jaden.
And listen, before he lost these 40 pounds, he was one of the most athletic centers in the game right now. And now that he's shrunken down weight, he can only get better, right? That's what I think, now, because his game is obviously predicated on driving into the paint. But if you're more agile going into the paint and continuing to be strong, and also his passing game has been tremendous throughout last season and throughout his career. So Jokic and those pictures online, he's looking good. Really good.
Really good. And the Nuggets are a threat too. I mean, they were the number 3 seed in the West going when the coronavirus happened and canceled the season. Now, I'm a little hesitant to say this is going to improve his back to the basket game or his fadeaway game where he's backing people down. Granted, will this help his face-up game? Absolutely. Because he can face up, he can throw more jab steps, he can lower his shoulder, get by somebody, and that's what losing that weight allows you to do. And we'll see how much does that he really factor in that weight. How much more does he run the floor? How much more? Like, can he get 8-10 more points a game from doing that? Or can he go run down some more rebounds? Obviously, I don't think it'll affect his passing. He's already a fantastic passer. But is he able to add another skill, that 4.5 star to the 5 star in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, just one last thing. Like, whenever you think about it, there really aren't that many elite post defense or paint protectors anymore. That's just kind of like evolved out of the game. I mean, LA, you might have Davis on him. Utah, Gobert is going to be on him. But outside of that, how many really good rim protectors are going to be, just not letting Jokic back him down?
PJ Tucker. Hey, you're the one going for the Rockets.
In 7.
Another thing is that a lot of the fat that he lost was fat. It wasn't like he's losing muscle mass in the process here. He lost fat. So that can only be an improvement there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Switching from Nikola Jokic, now it's time. Jaden, you usually go with your jump ball. We'll get to that later. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to play a game called Buy or Sell. Now, buy or sell, you're going to buy the team. Now, there's no budget limit or anything like that. We're not getting that complicated. But you're going to buy the team if you think they can make a run, maybe to the deep second round or to the conference finals. And you're going to sell a team, obviously, if you don't think they can. Now, we're not going to go with the lower teams in the 22-team bubble in Orlando, and we're not going to go with the Lakers, the Bucks, or the Clippers. But we're going to go with a lot of the teams in the middle of each conference. And we're going to start with Connor's favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we're not going to start with Connor because we know already what he's going to say. Jaden, buy or sell the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I'm a buyer. I'm a big buyer. I think the Thunder are a really, really strong team. You just look all the way around, and it all starts at Chris Paul. He has just done such a good job leading that team. And even look at Coach Billy Donovan. He just took a great job leading this team into the future. A lot of young guys. And sometimes when you have a lot of young guys, it's a struggle early on. But they've been able to push and persevere. A lot of people didn't expect them to be at this point. So why not stop?
Yeah,
Connor.
I've been saying it all season long that this OKC team is just crazily deep, and they don't have the star power that they had last year with Paul George and Russell Westbrook leading the charge, but they have Chris Paul, who was still an all-star, SGA, which is one of the rising stars in this league, Danilo Gallinari, who was a great three-point shooter from the 4 spot. So I think this team can, if they play Utah, whoever they play in the first round, I think they're going to win. And then as long as they don't get matched up against one of the LA teams in the second round, I think they have a chance to make it at least two victories. But I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, they're taking the Lakers or Clippers to 7 or anything. But I still I'm buying them for the fact that I think they can make it at least 2 to 3 rounds in.
Now, granted, I was going to say for the West, it's more like make sort of a 6-game series in the second round because they're going to be playing likely the Lakers or the Clippers. The East, it's more make the conference finals. Back to the Thunder, I'll buy for the reasons you just mentioned. And like you said, Chris Paul has that playoff experience. And the more I look at Utah, the more I'm kind of drifting away from them, especially with Bogdanovich hurt and the whole Mitchell Gobert mess. But Yeah, the more I watched a lot of like Thunder games, they just play solid team basketball. They really do, and they kind of remind me of the Indiana Pacers. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, they do. They play solid team basketball, and I think they could definitely win a first round series. So I'm gonna buy. Next team, the Miami Heat. This is a tough one. Connor, you want to start?
Yeah, so I tried to keep my number of teams kind of low for this buy sell just so it wouldn't seem like because obviously can't buy into every team, but I ended up buying the Heat. I still think with this rest, Jimmy Butler is going to be rejuvenated and he's going to be able to lead the team of young guns with Tyler Harrow, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson. I think they're going to be able to get to the conference finals potentially, maybe knock off Boston in their path, but I think Coach Spo has done a great job. I just think this is an incredibly deep team. Kind of like the Thunder, maybe not as much top-tier talent when you look at the Heat compared to the Thunder, but I still think that the Heat, they were hot, and no one expected them to get to this spot, this point of the season, so they have that extra motivation to get them over the hump.
Jayden, do you disagree?
Yeah, I do disagree. I'm gonna sell on them. Point there by Connor is that they were hot, and I think that was one of the main factors is that they played really, really, really well in the regular season, and I would love to see how they do play in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they do make a run, but at the time of when the league shut down, they were streaking, and now with that being cut right there, I can't really tell you that they would be able to continue their magnificent stretch in the regular season again in the playoffs.
Kind of a pun right there. The Heat were hot right there. Jayden, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to sell. Because, listen, the Miami Heat, your leading guy is Jimmy Butler. Like
no.
Thunder,
I don't think it's Jimmy Butler's fault.
I don't think
it's
Jimmy
also
Butler.
A lot of young guys too. It's not all on Jimmy Butler.
That's my point. Your leading guy is Jimmy Butler. Well, you say, oh, the Thunder, their leading guy is only Chris Paul. Only Chris Paul can't lead you to a playoff series win. Yeah, but you have more veterans on that Thunder team with Steven Adams, Danilo Gallinari. Whereas the Heat, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, granted Bam was a first-time All-Star, but what is he, a second or third-year player? So that's what I'm saying. And honestly, granted, we have trashed the 76ers plenty on this show. We don't trust them. But right now, especially after this break, I would take Philly over Miami. I would. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that – yes, I would. Mm-hmm. Especially – I don't think anyone could guard a healthy Joel Embiid. I don't think anyone could guard a healthy Joel Embiid in the post. And I believe that – I don't think Miami would challenge Boston either. Plus, Miami, like Philadelphia, had a ton of struggles on the road. They had a ton of struggles on the road. They were around 500, maybe a little under 500. I could be wrong. I could stand corrected there. But now they're playing in a neutral site. Doesn't fare well. They played very well at home. We'll have to see what happens. They're sitting at the number 4 spot in the East. That could fluctuate. They're close with a lot of teams such as Indiana, but they're a few games back of Boston. Staying in the Eastern Conference, the Indiana Pacers. I'll start. Thought about this for a long time.
No, you didn't. Just tell us you're buying. Wait, no, what?
I had to sell.
Really?
Listen,
wow.
I think they could win. Like I said, I think in the East, I think they could win a first-round series. I think they maybe could beat Miami. And a lot of people would think I'm an idiot for that, and I could be. But I don't think they can, push a second-round series. The more I look at it, I don't think they can beat Boston. Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and Jason Tatum, as good team basketball as they play, as good as DeMontis Sabonis is in the pick and roll, as good as Miles Turner is a shot blocker, I don't trust Victor Oladipo. Granted, he was getting back to form. I don't trust him to immediately jump back in and be Victor Oladipo from 2 years ago. Do I love the Pacers? Do I want to see them go far in the Eastern Conference? Sure. I kind of just picked them up as my second favorite team, but of course, Laker for life. But at the same time, yeah, I just don't. I don't think they can make it. T.J. McConnell's a nice piece, gives you energy off the bench, but they don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have a star.
I feel like this type of break is what helps Victor Oladipo because he had that rough stretch in the regular season. Now he gets to look back on it and improve. And as you talk about, the big man had just been really, really good for the Pacers.
Are you buying?
I guess I'm going to have to buy because I'm really shocked that you out of everybody said sell.
Well, I'm not
because I was the one that I was a little bit on the fence with the Pacers because I do like how they play, but they were never consistent. But that was mostly because of Oladipo.
I know, but Oladipo, granted the rest helps him, but I don't think
I feel like out of
Oladipo will
everybody
be
that
Oladipo
needed
2 years ago. That's the thing. I think the Sixers needed to break the most, but I could be wrong. But Oladipo, he's gonna have to be Oladipo from 2 years ago. The problem is maybe they could win a first round series, but second round series against a Milwaukee, a Toronto, or a Boston, no, I don't see them putting up a chance fighting. I'm losing my words here.
I think they have a shot. I think they have a shot. Maybe a slim shot, but I think they have a shot.
You see, I could see them beat. I'm gonna sell, but I could see them beating Philly in a first round matchup. I just don't see them making it past. Maybe Toronto, but I mean that's just if everything falls into place, and that's just too perfect of a situation to say, yeah, I'm gonna buy. Yeah, I agree with Jayden that Oladipo's break does help, or the break does help Oladipo the most, and I think even more than Philly. I just think Philly needs a hard reset on their roster, but I just don't think Indiana has enough really to get them over the hump against a team like Boston, or if they somehow draw the short straw and have to play Milwaukee in the second round if they win a first round matchup. I do think that they have had some luck with this break and just how everything's come with timing and injuries, but it's not enough for me to buy.
Okay. Now, hopefully I will not have to bleach my hair if this team wins the NBA Finals. The Houston Rockets, I mean, obviously because I don't want to bleach my hair, I'm going to sell. I'll explain later. But, Connor, you want to start?
Yeah, I'm going to buy. I think this team really was getting hot as it was going on, and I think Russell Westbrook is playing some of the best team basketball of his career and more efficiently too. I think this break gives James Harden a really good chance of not fading as we get deeper into the playoffs if they do make a run. And this team was able to compete after going fully small ball with both LA teams. So am I full-on chancing from the mountain top that they could beat the Clippers or the Lakers in 6 or 7? That I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I do like the prospects of this team going on a deep run.
Yeah, that's why they have the playoffs. So they do play 6 and 7 games, and then they will lose because the big man game is what's going to be the determining factor. Like, don't get me wrong, the Rockets, they played great ball and they were able to hold their own with that small ball roster. But in the playoffs, when you have to play the same team at least 4 times, I really, really doubt that they'll be able to win a 7-game series.
Exactly. I was going to say that. Granted, the small ball lineup has worked. It has worked in some games, but teams are seeing it over and over and over again. They have so much time.
Like this,
okay, but you're seeing it in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I get that.
Multiple times, so you have time to adjust. So even if the Lakers say they play them in the Western Conference semifinals and Houston wins the first round series and they lose game 1 in LA, you can't tell me the Lakers are going to make an adjustment. So Anthony Davis can start dropping 40 and 20.
Houston and LA would play each other. I'm picking Houston all the way. I'm just saying that I think Houston has a good chance of making a run. Am I saying that they're my title favorite? No, this is a buy or sell.
I'm selling. I just don't. I don't trust James Harden. I don't trust James Harden.
Right,
Next, I'm buying this team. I love to buy this team. The number 2 seed in the East, the Toronto Raptors. Siakam has been an absolute beast. Nick Nurse is one of, if not the best coach in the league this season. They've done everything right, especially with Kawhi leaving. No one expected them to be here. Connor, I'm looking at your face right here. You better not be selling. We're going to go to Jayden first, but I'm going to be mad at you.
First.
I'm going to –
Big buy. Big buy. No one expected this team to be – I think a lot of people expected this team to be good, but not this good. Not this good with Kawhi leaving. Because when you have Kawhi leaving, you have no idea what to expect because your best defensive centerpiece and really just team centerpiece in general is gone, right? And they accepted it, rolled with the punches, and now are once again back in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, the Eastern Conference isn't as strong as the West, but if anyone's going to take down the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to be the Raptors.
Connor.
So I said at the beginning of this that I wanted to keep my teams that I bought relatively low, and I didn't want to just pick the top 2 teams in either conference. So I'm just going to sell on the Raptors, but I'm not doing it for the fact just to sell and not buy them. I just don't think that – I think Marc Gasol has kind of regressed a little bit. Kyle Lowry's 34. We don't know. Listen, I'm not going to convince you that this Raptors team is not good because then I would just look like a fool. I'm just saying that I think that a couple teams edge them out in certain aspects. I think Boston does. I think Milwaukee does. I'm not totally sure if Miami does, but I still think Miami as a 4 or a 5 seed, I like buying into them more than Toronto as the 2 seed right now.
Yeah, granted, that's what everyone said last year, but I get they had Kawhi. You never know. Staying in the Eastern Conference, I don't
Wait, are
like
you
this.
buying Toronto?
Yes, of course I'm buying Toronto.
Did you get to it? Did I miss that?
Yes, I went first.
Next team.
Connor's
Next team.
losing his mind.
Connor, he was
Next
too busy
team.
thinking.
He didn't
why
have
was
he
not
didn't have the
picking
frosted he didn't have his
Next team.
frosted flakes in the morning in the
It's Lucky
background.
Charms.
Yeah, he had Lucky Charms. You must be
Oh,
seeing
wait.
stars.
Oh, in my background? No, that's right there.
Oh, but you had Lucky
just-
Charms. You must be seeing stars or something. Jeez, it was the marshmallows. Check that due date on that box, buddy. Okay. Next.
Just get to the next
I'm
team.
just sorry.
Just
Okay,
get to the
staying
next
in the Eastern
team.
Conference, we're gonna go with the Boston Celtics. Obviously, I don't like this team because I'm a Laker fan, but I'm gonna buy them. I mean, in terms of actual talent, they have the best chance of beating Milwaukee, especially with 3 20-point scorers in Brown, Walker, and Tatum. I want to pick Toronto, and especially I probably would pick Toronto if it were a regular series because Toronto would have home court advantage if they were the 2 seed. But in a neutral site, I'd probably go with Boston. Now, that doesn't make me retract my statement from buying Toronto, but Boston, they have some depth and they have 3 studs. And Jason Tatum, if you told me in 5 years he's a top 3 player in the league, I wouldn't blink an eye. So I'm buying the Celtics. You guys?
I'm going to sell on the Celtics for the exact reason you said, but the opposite way around. I feel like if it was Raptors-Celtics in a neutral court, it's going to be Raptors taking it instead of the Celtics. At least that's the way I see it. Boston fans are crazy. Boston fans are crazy.
Did you see the Raptors fans last year?
Yes, we saw the Raptors fans last year, but I feel like
Drake.
if we go,
Just alone.
Drake's gonna find his way into Orlando. I tell you that right now. He's gonna be dressed up as the mascot. I don't care. He's gonna be there. But I feel like if it's Raptors Celtics in a neutral court, I'm giving it to the Raptors on a close edge. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a close series, but I'll give it to the Raptors.
Yeah, Dane, I have to agree with all the reasons you mentioned and then some. I think Brad Stevens is still one of the best coaches, even though the hype has kind of fizzled off since the whole Kyrie debacle up there. But I still think that Jason Tatum, whenever Kemba Walker went down, his game improved so much that he made a legit late push for most improved player. So I think Tatum really is the alpha dog on that team. Not to mention Kemba Walker is still going to come back and put up 18 to 22 probably per. Jaylen Brown is going to be that main defensive wing. And Enes Kanter, yeah, he has defensive inefficiencies, as everyone knows, but he's still going to produce well on the block and grab a ton of rebounds. Not to mention Gordon Hayward as your 4th best player in your starting lineup. That's not a bad deal. So I think Boston has a legit shot of coming out of the East.
By the way, did you see Tatum's haircut that he just got? Dude.
No.
This guy.
No, I did not.
No. It's gonna make you buy. This guy is lined up like by the hands of God. Like this lineup is insane.
Oh my goodness.
That might be the determining factor that puts him over the edge. That
You're the
haircut.
one that sold on him.
I know, but I don't know. I forgot about that haircut.
Oh,
you forgot about the haircut.
Big buy.
By the way, Connor got
Big
the
buy.
haircut.
Big buy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did too, but it's quite short, and we kind of just woke up. It's 10:25 in the morning.
I haven't gotten a haircut in 3 months.
Nor has Jaden shaved in 3 months, but Jaden looks like a caveman personally. I think he looks like a caveman. Sorry to insult you there, but he's got the shiny white teeth. He's using that Colgate Crest, that toothpaste. 3 more teams to go. Utah. Yeah, I got to sell. No Bogdanovich.
Sell.
Okay, next. We just talked about him earlier. Nikola Jokic. Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets. I'm buying. I mean, do I think they're going to beat the Lakers or Clippers? No. But listen, if he didn't lose that weight, I think losing that weight's going to definitely help him. I think it's going to help him. And I think Mike Malone is one of the best coaches, probably the most underrated coach in the NBA. He does a lot for that team. And Jeremy Grant's an underrated athletic forward that really gets the job done, can grab boards. He can get 12 and 8 for you. Jamal Murray's a young and budding star, but he's not the go-to guy. And then you have a Gary Harris who can shoot it, and a kind of do-everything guy that in Will Barton. Granted, you might need some bench depth, but I can see this team not only winning a first-round series, but pushing the Lakers and Clippers to 6. So I'm going to buy on the Denver Nuggets.
I'm gonna sell just for the fact that I don't.
They're in the
think,
Thunder's division.
No, I don't think they could make it to the conference finals or past it. And we're looking at this team as a 3 seed. We're not looking at this team like the Thunder, which are potentially fighting for home court advantage if we had it in the first round. I think the expectations are higher for this Nuggets team, and I just don't think they can match them with the top end talent that the Clippers and Lakers have. I think the Clippers are too deep for the Nuggets, and I think the Lakers have too much top end talent for them to handle. So I'm going to sell.
Jaden.
Yeah, I'm also going to sell to all the points that Connor made. I ranking them as a 3 seed. They do not hold the top end talent as the Lakers and Clippers do. And that's just facts. That is just straight facts. I do love the players on the Nuggets. I love Gary Harris. I'm a big fan of Gary Harris. Ever since NBA 2K, I think it was 18, and he was just a stud. Big fan of Gary. But Nuggets, I don't think they'll do it. Not as a 3 seed.
Someone should comment. Who do you think will win in a 2K tournament? Me, Jaden, or Connor?
Not me.
You said you think it's you?
No, I said not me. Just save your time and pick between you two.
Probably. I'd probably go with myself because
I haven't played.
I
didn't play 2K this year because I just can't with them anymore. Maybe next year with all the extra sweat that they released. But
how about those graphics? I don't think we're going to talk about that. But those were interesting. One last team in our buy or sell segment. The team we all love, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Brett Brown, and the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't want to start. One of you two.
I'll start. Okay. I'm going to sell, and this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone because I even mentioned that I think they need a hard reset because I think the expectations for this team for some reason did not waver after losing Jimmy Butler and JJ Redick and only replacing that with Matisse Thybulle and Josh Richardson. I don't think this team is built to win an NBA championship as currently constructed just because of Ben Simmons' offensive inefficiencies, Joel Embiid's health, and I don't think that you can win an NBA title with your main guy being a center. I think you need at least a 1A and a 1B if you're going to have a center as your top guy. So, and again, I'm not also a big Brett Brown fan. I just don't think this team is built to win late in the season. Yeah, they might have some flashy names, but I just don't think it fits well. And I don't think this break really pushes them over the hump, giving them extra rest or anything. So sell.
Yeah, sell for me here as well. As everything stands, and if they could stay healthy and Joel Embiid is able to stay healthy, yeah, maybe they have a shot, maybe they don't. I really don't think they have a shot. It's a lot of all names and not a lot of substance there, as Connor said. We trashed the 76ers a lot this season, but I think that is because of the expectations that were set on them, right? They went through this whole rebuilding process. We were going to trust the process and you're going to love it or hate it. And you finally make it to the playoffs and you can't advance, So if you're a 76ers fan, I apologize, and I'm very surprised that you're continuing to watch our show if you're a 76ers fan because we have dragged you through the mud, but I'm going to sell.
It was really tough for me. I'm going to buy. Now,
so no, stop. He sells on the Pacers that he's talked hype about all season and then buys the 76ers that we have trashed all season. So I just want to put that out there. You can continue, Dane, but I just want to say.
It's the break. Granted, the Sixers have had trouble on the road, but no one's at home now. No one's on the road. They're just in Orlando, right? And I think –
But they won all those games at home. They only won at home, so now that they're no longer home –
Let me finish. You talked about him last week. No one's even mentioned Tobias Harris in this conversation.
I like
him. Because he's not mentionable worthy.
Yes, he is. The guy averages 18 points a game.
I like him.
And if they can shoot the rock a little bit better, I think a healthy Joel Embiid is a top 8 player in today's game, a healthy Joel Embiid. And he's had all this time to rest. I mean, we don't see, other than Jokic because of his passing, but what back-to-the-basket guy will bully you in this league? Like, Embiid's sort of like the only main post guy that's able to do that. along with Matisse Thybulle is a good guy to come off the bench as a rookie, but again, he doesn't have the pressure on him. Granted, the 76ers could use some more depth, but again, I get this team had Jimmy Butler and J.J. Redick last year, but they were one shot away from beating the NBA champions. Granted, in a first-round series with Boston, I don't think they'd win. I don't, because I bought the Celtics as well. In a first-round series with Indiana, yeah, I think the Sixers would win. In a first-round series with Toronto, I think that would be way closer than a lot of people would think. Way closer. Way closer. I think Philly might even win. I'm not saying they would. Granted, if it were a regular series, I don't think Philly would win. I think Toronto would win. But I think that series would go 7, absolutely. Because I think, like I said, this break helps the 76ers, I think, more than anybody else. And they have time to figure things out. They were a team that was all over the place. We win at home, we lose on the road.
I mean, this
That's
isn't a
it.
team, though. Like, it's not like
Now you
these
get a
teams
new
were just
start,
practicing.
ready to go with all this talent. Go
It's
get
not
it.
it's not like they've had time on the court to work everything out. It's literally just been sitting at home, and maybe like one guy has a court, or like a couple guys have a court that they can have private access to improve their game.
But I understand Dane's
I don't
point.
think we
You
should
have
look
the
at this
time to
break to make
restart.
good. I don't think we should look at this break that somehow good teams become great teams. 76ers have proved all along this year that they cannot be trusted to be consistently great. Maybe good for stretches. As this break doesn't do anything for me.
Okay. Jaden, you said you understand my point?
Yeah, I completely get your point. Even though the Sixers are still selling on them hard, this break was probably really big for the 76ers to be able to regroup. You never know. We could come into this playoffs and they'd be a completely different team. And that goes for almost every team coming out of this break, because you just really don't know. Staying 3 months away from basketball, now even more, waiting until July 31st. That long away from basketball and your team and just the rhythm of the game, anything could happen. We can see the Nets win the freaking playoffs. All right.
A little bit of a jump there. Now, we're going to do a segment each week, switching to the teams outside of the 22-team bubble. We're going to focus on one team each week that's not part of the 22-team bubble in Orlando each week. First up, just to talk about them and get rid of them, because I don't really want to talk about them in the future weeks, the New York Knicks.
Oh.
I mean, we got a good young core, I guess. Mitchell Robinson's a young, underrated center. You got R.J. Barrett, who's up and coming. I don't even want to mention Frank Ntilikina. Shout out Jeremy Goldstein right there. But what do you think their needs are? Who would you take? If you
Anything
were the
but a
Knicks?
power forward as their need. I mean, at the draft, they're looking to take best available, but which I think LaMelo Ball would be a good fit for them.
Yeah,
I just think he'd be a good. I think he's got the potential in terms of athleticism. Whether or not he can hone in the shot, that's another thing. But I think he's a better playmaker than Lonzo was coming out of college. I think that if he does improve his shot, he will be the best player coming out of this class. And I think they're looking for a new head coach right now. Tom Thibodeau is clearly not the answer, just because it has been proven time and time again that he is just not a great coach, and especially in terms of developing, in my opinion. So that is not the guy I'd want to give my keys to the franchise and potentially the future to. But just accumulate young talent. Don't try and rush it. If they try and trade for Chris Paul, it's just going to be another 5 years before we're even talking about them. Maybe at the end of their rebuild. So
I'll tell you what. If the Knicks try and trade for Chris Paul, I understand. I bought the Thunder in our last segment. But the Knicks are a stupid team with stupid management.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, Leon
Don't put
Rose,
it past
I'm
them.
not going to say anything about Leon Rose because he's quite new to the organization. But I would do that if I were the Thunder, because the Knicks.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, if you're the Thunder, you
heartbeat.
take that
because
so
you got all
fast.
the stuff for
heartbeat.
Paul George. You got all those draft picks. I don't know how many draft picks do you have in the next couple of years.
I think 7, including swaps from the Clippers, 4, including swaps from the Rockets.
You guys are going to have like one of the best young players.
Not to mention, I think we have Denver's this year too, because of
So
Grant.
I wouldn't do that. Jaden, what do you think about the Knicks?
It's gonna be a long road for the New
You've been
York
saying
Knicks.
that for 15
Yeah,
years.
we are.
There's
And
yeah,
I-
but you've been
nothing
making
left.
mistake after mistake after mistake.
It doesn't change until I think Dolan gets out. I really don't think it changes. But it's not his fault. it is his fault, but it's not his fault at the same time because no matter what, the Garden sold out. The Knicks can barely win 20 games on the season, and the Garden sold out. So I don't listen. New York basketball is crazy, especially in the city. The Knicks are like no other team in the world because you can do terrible year after year after year and continue to sell out Madison Square Garden, right? So until something changes, not on the court, but in the front office, I don't see this going anywhere. I do like LaMelo Ball as the draft pick over Cole Anthony.
Yeah, granted, I don't think I would go with a forward. I think I would go with LaMelo too, and I think he has the potential to be the best player in the draft class. My only concern is he's very thin, injuries. Now, granted, that was a lot with Kevin Durant, but I'm not saying he's Kevin Durant, but he's got that skinny type body. For a start, for James Dolan, how about you not kick fans out of Madison Square Garden when they yell at you to sell the team?
No, but the crazy thing is that he's also the owner of the Rangers, but the Rangers have been fine.
Because they've been good.
Yeah, exactly. But he's hands off. You see what I'm saying? He's hands off. He just owns it.
Also, but Knicks fans are way more crazier than Ranger fans. I know this is a basketball show, but granted, also, you're getting free agents now in free agency. Now, New York's a big attraction, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're getting guys that are starting to get not necessarily our age, but a few years younger than us that are starting to become big-time free agents, granted. But in their childhoods, in the early 2000s, were the Knicks ever good? No.
Didn't they
Why would they go to
2011 was the only year I remember them being like
2012, 2013 with Melo in that group with like Raymond Felton and Pablo Prigioni.
Oh, that's a squad right there.
That's a squad, but they got beat by LeBron.
2K squad right there.
Okay, yeah. But the Knicks, they haven't been a consistently good team. Granted, the Lakers were bad for 6 years, but they had the Kobe years. They had the Shaq years. So they're still like young players that are going to be in the NBA in 5-10 years. They're saying, man, the Knicks stink. Man, Dolan's a terrible owner. Man, like, why would I want to play there? I mean, you heard DeAndre Jordan talk about it, how Brooklyn was so much better and even more convenient than playing for the Knicks. And he's played for both now because he's with Brooklyn and he got traded to New York last season. So,
because the pressure isn't on in Brooklyn.
I mean,
you're playing for the New York Knicks.
What pressure's on for the Knicks now?
Because the fan base.
It's still the Knicks. You said it yourself. They suck and they still sell out. The expectation is still there because they do play in MSG. They do play New York, and they're still the Knicks. Even though they suck year in and year out, there's still pressure on them. And that's why there's the potential or the possibility and rumors that, hey, they might take a leap of faith and just go out for a star this year. No. If you want to be good in 5 years, you pick best available. You keep signing these free agents to 2-3 year deals max. So that way you don't handicap yourself for the good free agency years because this one's pretty dry. However, the ones in the next couple years coming up, barring a slew of extensions, if the Knicks draft well, they could be actually a good destination for free agents.
Granted, without Kevin Durant, think about now, not every team's going to build like this, but the Golden State Warriors, their first championship, was simply pretty much draft. Especially with Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
Yeah.
They lucked out, but I'm not saying they're going to do that. The Knicks are going to do that.
You can't compare it to the Warriors. The Warriors ended up getting one of the greatest point guards to ever step on the court, one of the greatest shooting guards to ever shoot the ball, and Draymond Green.
I think a good start would be taking LaMelo Ball. Now, the biggest surprise of the week, Connor and I do not know what's coming. It's not anything like statistic related, I don't think, but Jayden's Jump Ball, episode 3. Hit us up, buddy.
All right, so this one is a little bit different.
Are you kidding? No, I'm not losing. Bulls.
Yeah.
Rockets.
Yes. This week, it's NCAA champions. Incorrect.
Okay.
Oh, I got my list messed up. Oh my goodness. See, I just assumed Connor would get it wrong. That's the thing.
You better share your screen.
Right, you gotta give me a second because I got a screen share.
Oh, no. Connor, are you nervous?
I think you all should be extremely
coming.
nervous. All right, let me hide.
He's kept us in the dark so much, and he's like hyped this up so much. So I'm really interested to see what he's gonna pull out of the rabbit's hat here.
I'm been curious, like how much you guys really pay attention to what's going on in the court. Like we look at all the stats and we look at all.
I'm either gonna know this as soon as you say it, or I'm just gonna have no clue what the answer is.
Dang,
There's gonna
I need to
no
be
in
able to
between.
screen share.
On Court Inc.
Oh,
On Court Inc. Welcome to Jaden's Jump Ball. This is a great addition, a new addition that makes you think into the crevices of your mind. Because we watch this game all the time, watch that ball go into the hoop, but these players got personalities and all these quirks, and they like to express it with the ink that's on their body. And now we're going to
This is about tattoos.
oh, I
going to
like this
look
idea.
at the tattoos
I like
on the
this
players
idea.
of the NBA. All you have to do is name it. There are 10 players, I believe. Some I think you will 100% be able to get. Some I think are very difficult. Some are funny. Some are very nice tattoos. Some are probably the worst tattoos you've ever seen in your life. You could use anything in the picture to give you hints, including the uniform, that the jersey that they're wearing, the graininess of the photo, so that might help you think how far back it was taken. You can use anything in the photo to help you. I cannot give you the team. I can only give you what body part it is on. All right? That's the only thing I
All right,
can
let's
give
go.
you. All right, so let's make sure I'm doing this right. All right.
Birdman.
Birdman.
Very
was
simple.
easy.
Birdman, Chris Anderson. I gave you an easy one. Just wanted to make sure you guys were.
Wait, should we do like one at a time or something like that? Like he goes and then I go?
I think who won?
Or do you want us to just go?
Dane
I got
won
it
the last one,
first.
so let Connor go first. I'm sorry.
All right, that's
But
my
yeah,
point.
that was a gimme. That was a
Yeah,
gimme.
that's his
Chris
point. That's
Anderson,
Connor's
Birdman.
point then. So I'm
All
next.
right, yeah, now you go.
That was a bird. That was an easy one.
I
Ready?
get to steal though if he gets it wrong, right? And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm gonna lose this. Totally. What is wrong with you, Jaden? Like, why would you give me this? This could be literally any.
Would you
could
like
I
the
have
body
more
part?
than- Yes.
This is on the side of the person's head right here. Right there. Where my finger is. Side of the person's head.
Dennis Rodman.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Screw it.
Connor, would you like to steal?
Oh God.
I don't know why, but Michael Beasley.
No.
Stephon Marbury.
What?
Infamous tattoo. I believe that is his logo.
Oh my God.
That is his like actual logo. He just got a like tattoo on the side of his head.
Connor's up. Oh my God.
Connor, you're up.
Yeah.
What? Oh, well, it's a Knicks
You could use
player.
anything in the picture to help you.
It's a Knicks player.
I honestly can't think of the Knicks player that has that tattoo.
It's got to be some '90s guy, probably.
To give you more context, that is on his shoulder. As you can see, it says WB representing Warner Bros. Warner Brothers.
I'm not even gonna guess.
You gotta get.
Give me something.
Tyson Chandler. I don't know.
No,
Dane?
I'm gonna guess it's someone that. Latrell Sprewell.
Carmelo Anthony, guys. This is a famous tattoo.
Dude, I don't pay
Famous.
attention to tattoos.
Famous.
bro.
You gotta
See,
pay
if he would have
attention.
shown me his right shoulder, I would have gotten it. But I just did not know he had the Warner Brothers at all.
I knew he had that Warner Brothers.
Oh
I
my God.
tested this
Yeah.
on other people.
He
and they
played
did
one
also.
season in OKC and sucked, so of course I wasn't going to pay
You
that
gotta
much
know
attention.
that, man. You gotta know that. Next one. Nice, beautiful chest piece.
Dude.
This
Uh-huh.
one is also famous tattoo. Famous.
Oh my God.
Famous? Dude, I don't pay. They
Famous.
wear jerseys during the game.
But this one, I don't want to give you hints, but this one is really well known.
LeBron.
Incorrect.
LeBron.
Connor.
I can't tell what that number 1 is up in the top right. Oh, JR.
J.R. Smith.
Let's go.
J.R. Smith. As y'all know, he wore a shirt with his tattoos on the shirt. I don't know. Very special.
I have 0 points.
Here's a
Oh my
picture
God.
of Mario. This is
I don't
on.
know any of-
This is on the back shoulder. back shoulder.
Is this my guess?
Yes, I think it's
Yes.
Connor.
I think I might get this one.
It's a Heat player is my guess, but I just don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna guess Mario Hazonia just for the fact that it's Super Mario.
Dane?
Is he right?
No,
it's
if he's not,
incorrect.
if he's asking you,
Correct. Dane.
A Mario tattoo. Oh my God. I don't know. Well, he looks like a white guy. So
good observation.
Very good observation.
you.
can
Thank
use
you.
anything in the picture.
Italian white guy, maybe? Italian white guys? Gallinari.
Wait, not letting me click. Oh, it was
Mike
Mike Muscala. I don't think anyone would have gotten that, but I needed to put it there.
Yeah.
Maybe if you noticed the Mario tattoo, it could have gotten you there.
Dude, I barely noticed Mike Muscala's still in the league.
Oh my God. Next question.
This next tattoo is a beautiful arm tattoo. I had to add this one in just because it is just a masterpiece. Had to take a long time, a lot of shading, a lot of line work. This one is definitely gettable.
Is it my
This
turn?
is yours, I think.
I think it's Dane's turn, yeah.
Is he a known NBA player?
Yes. No.
Trying to think here. No, it's not him.
Oh, wait, I think I might know this.
Damian Lillard.
Incorrect.
Brandon Ingram.
Double incorrect.
Dang.
Austin Rivers.
What?
Beautiful tattoo. Beautiful. Look at that line work all the way up and down his
Yes.
forearm.
Still too beefy
As
to
a
be.
prayer.
How
Brandon
many more do we
Ingram.
have left? Oh my God, this is so bad. No. Oh my God.
Oh, give me this. This is mine, right?
Connor.
Steven
This
Adams.
is yours, Steven Adams.
Give me that.
Correct. I had to give. I needed to make sure I put a Thunder in there. I didn't want to put the jersey because I think that would have been way too
Yeah.
obvious. So, Steven Adams, beautiful tattoo all the way up and down. His
3-0,
arm going
right?
to his chest. I think it's. Dane, have you gotten one
No.
yet?
Let's not do this next time.
I put a Laker in for you. I put a Laker in.
Is he a current Laker?
No, definitely not.
Shoot.
Definitely not. If you were watching in the times of struggle and despair, I think you might.
Oh. Is this my guy? No, it's not him. It's not Kobe.
No,
It's not Kobe.
I'm not even gonna count that as a guess. This guy's
No.
white. This guy's white. This
He's white?
skin
You know?
color.
Oh, he's white? Oh no, I'm completely thrown off now.
That should be his guess.
I'm
No,
not
it's
gonna let him do that. I'm not gonna let him do that.
Wait. He's white? What? No.
I wouldn't say he's completely white. I don't know, but definitely not Kobe. I'll let you get to get.
I'm so good. Times of despair? No, not him. Oh my God. I'm trying to think of white guys. Jeremy Lin?
No, not Jeremy Lin. Definitely not Jeremy Lin. Connor, please.
Oh. I had this guy's name on the tip of my tongue, and then I lost it. But I'm not gonna.
That's Snoop Dogg on there.
Yeah, I have no
Believe
idea.
that.
I'll just throw out a.
Skyline of sorts.
Yeah, I like the Seattle skyline should be a clue. I just have no idea. So honestly, I don't even know a name to throw out there. Derek Fisher, show the answer. That's who I was thinking of.
Dude, I thought you would get this.
Dude,
Oh my God, that's exactly who I was thinking
you didn't
of.
tell me he was going to be that obscure. Robert Sacre?
I feel like that would be.
This man played
Oh my
3
God,
years,
I
like
would've
3 or
gotten
4
that.
years for the Lakers, and he played in the friggin' when it was the D League. He played in the D League for half of it.
I feel like you would have gotten that though.
I'm so upset
Dude,
that
I
that's
can't recognize
exactly who
anyone's
I was
tattoo
thinking
other
of,
than
and
Birdman.
I couldn't think of the name.
I feel like you could have gotten that, dude.
I'm
That's a
so
big
pissed
mistake,
off.
too.
All right.
Next
By the way-
question.
No.
Richard Jefferson.
Correct.
No, I would have guessed RJ Barrett.
Are
Richard
you
Jefferson,
serious?
great tattoo, or not so good tattoo with the basketball in the whole of the.
Okay, how many more do we have left?
I think the next one is the last one.
Thank
I've
God.
got 4.
I've gotten 0.
Please give me a shutout.
Utah Jazz. Correct?
I'm not sure exactly what Utah jersey this is, if this is college or.
No, this is a Utah
I think
Jazz.
it's Utah Jazz jersey.
Carlos Boozer?
Connor.
Darren Williams.
Darren Williams, it is! Steals it. Wow.
I feel ashamed.
I
Dane.
really was hoping you were gonna throw like a Drake tattoo in there.
I wanted to stick to NBA, not to throw anybody off,
No, I get
but
that.
at the
Oh.
same time, I'm pretty surprised that you're a very smart guy when it comes to stats and stuff like that. But this is the culture, man.
to
It's the culture.
Got the
Dude, that's
tattoo
called Robert
blindness.
Sacre. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
Unshare your screen so I can get this nightmare out of my
I'm
head.
learning how to.
Connor just literally absolutely slaughtered me in this.
How do I-
Slaughtered me. Like I
was
just
kind
got
of confident
crushed.
whenever I saw the title, but I did not expect a 5-0 shutout.
Dane, I felt like I gave you a couple.
Yeah, you were asking
Yeah,
for
Robert
hints, and he was
Sacre.
giving it to you. Okay.
Come on, it's a Lakers.
You gave
Your
him
first guess
Steven
was Kobe.
Adams.
Your first guess was
His
Kobe.
second guess was Kobe. I don't remember Kobe having a Snoop Dogg tattoo.
And then
on
I
his
guess
chest.
Dribblin. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
tough.
Yeah,
And I said he's more of a whitish guy. And you guys the Asian guy. I
I
don't
think your guesses were Kobe and Jeremy Lin, and the guy was Robert Sacre.
know.
okay.
Well, I think we all enjoyed that. I'm gonna try to implement more
I
of
loved
those
it.
types of games in there. So it's not all about the stats, guys. Sometimes it's
Not all about the stats.
it's the culture. I got a couple good ones in mind. I got a couple good ones. in
Okay.
mind.
They bet no more tattoos, man. I'm gonna be hot. No, you know what? Now, if you do that, if we still have the show going in like our senior year of college, put up another tattoo ink, Jaden's jump ball, and I'm going to crush it. I'm going to literally know every tattoo in the NBA. Trust me. Okay,
I'm
we're
ready
gonna
for
talk about something different other than the NBA and tattoos because I got crushed. The TBT, the basketball tournament where they have multiple basketball teams, former players of college alumni. They have Boeheim's Army, Scarlet and Gray for Ohio State, Boeheim's Army, of course, for Syracuse, other teams. It's TBT, the basketball tournament. It's going to begin July 4th in Columbus. Obviously, I'm excited for Boeheim's Army because I get to see a lot of Syracuse players come back together and play, some that haven't played together, or from old to more recent players. I know they have Malachi Richardson, Tyler Lydon joining in this year. I believe it's their first time on the team. So it's going to be before the NBA. People that want their basketball fix, it's going to be on ESPN. Are you guys going to watch? I mean, I'm probably going to watch more of the later rounds. I'm going to watch Boeheim's Army. I went to a game.
I usually watch all of it, even like there's not typically this much basketball going around this time of the year. So especially since we've been actually no, I for some reason blanked and thought it was already in July, but no, I'm still gonna watch it. I mean, it's our first basketball since March. It's gonna be a good warm up just to get kind of used to watching live games again for late July, early August. And as you mentioned, some of our favorite former college stars that didn't quite make it pro. So it gives us a rooting interest. And yeah, it's just basketball. What more could you ask for?
Mm-hmm. Jaden.
Yeah, I think I'll watch a little bit. I'm not big into the outside stuff more compared to you guys, but yeah, I'll give it a watch a little bit. I think the interest does lie in those college players that didn't make it, but you remember making them having them make those big plays back in the day. now get to show off their stuff again. I wonder who's going to be that top guy that comes out of there.
Eric Devendorf.
Oh, there you go.
Bayheim's Army, it's your year. I'm telling you. Win it for me. Win it for me. Win that $2 million, I think it is, where the pocket
Is
is.
it 2? I thought it was 1.
No, it's 2 now.
It was
It's
2?
definitely
Okay.
I think it's 2. It was 1. No, it's 2. Switching down to high school. You usually don't switch to high school. ESPN coming out with their new rankings. ESPN 100 for 2021, ESPN 60 for 2022, and the ESPN 25 for 2023. Sitting at number 24, I believe, is the one and only Bronny James. So what do you guys think of him? How is he sort of supposed to deal with this hype? Do you think he's going to live up to the hype? What do you think is going to happen with him through the rest of his high school career?
Listen, I think that the hype was going to come with him regardless of his ranking right now because his name is literally LeBron James Jr. So there really wasn't much hiding in the spotlight if he was going to play basketball. But I mean, I don't really put much stock to this because it's still two full seasons before he's eligible for college basketball. So let's just kind of pump the brakes. However, I did see this one interesting quote from a former teammate of his that by the time 2021, he said that Bronny might be the best player in the world, which obviously is, I think that's quite the stretch, but I would love for him to carry the James name and just make the James like the royal family of the NBA. I think that would be awesome, but also we can't put all these eyes and like all this pressure on simply a high school sophomore. So let's just kind of cool down and let him grow, let him live, you know?
He's a freshman now. He's a sophomore now. He just played his freshman season.
Yeah.
So he's got 3 more years of high school. Granted, now, one thing I want to see, he's 6'2" right now. Granted, lots of time to grow. You never know about guys at that age, especially after freshman year. Like Anthony Davis grew like from 6'1" to like 6'10" in a couple years or something like that in high school. But if he can grow to 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", something like a LaMelo Ball height, I know we talked about him earlier in the show. I mean, look out. Look out.
Yeah, I
And
think
you
we
can
all
already
need to
throw
put
it out.
in. Yeah, we need to put into perspective what you were doing and what everybody our age was doing back freshman year going into sophomore year. And imagine being ranked, what was it, 23rd, 24th? You know, I'm actually glad that he's ranked that low and he's not up there in the
Yeah.
top 10 or top 5
I
because
think
the
he
amount
deserves
of
to be
pressure.
around that rank.
Yeah, no, it probably does, but the amount of pressure as a freshman in high school, like, come on, that's tough.
He played on a loaded
Dude,
team.
imagine leaving like English class and then having
But
to
you know,
go
Sierra Canyon was
play-
a loaded team. You had Amari.
Oh yeah, it's a
You
loaded
had BJ
team.
Boston, Zaire
Yeah.
Williams, Amari Bailey. You had like 3 top 10 guys.
I just
So,
can't think
Zaire
about
Wade, who
like
didn't even play much
the
of that.
amount of pressure on that poor kid, and it's gonna follow him his whole basketball career, high school, college, NBA, just because of his namesake,
Well,
right?
he's got a father that knows what it's like, though. Granted, not in
Mhm.
the age of social media.
Yeah.
But he's got a father that knows what it's like. He was supposed to be like the man, the king, and he turned out to be exactly that.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to say LeBron James Jr. is going to be that because I don't think anyone else is going to be a LeBron again, kind of like what LeBron James does.
Yeah.
I
That's
could be
fair.
wrong. But like I said, I'd like to see him grow a little bit more. And then, yeah, he's got the perfect mentor. I know LeBron's still playing, but he plays with a lot of good players. Have to see if he does that G League route. I mean, that's a long time away.
That
Again,
would be huge.
graduating high school in
huge.
2023. It's June of 2020 right now. So
Yeah,
We'll
but
see.
just to think about that,
Yeah.
LeBron James' son
like 3 years away.
went to the G League first instead of going off to college. That would be crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how it develops. I think a tenth of the ESPN 100 this year is going pro to the G League. So 10 of the 100 players. So that's probably more than it's ever been. We're going to switch to our final segment. Actually, 2 more segments. Favorite basketball game you have watched this decade with the NBA and college?
Oh my goodness.
I'll start with college. For me, it's got to be the 2016 Elite Eight game, Malachi Richardson going off with Malcolm Brogdon guarding him. In the Elite Eight, Syracuse shocking Virginia, coming back from the dead on Easter Sunday, pun intended, of course. that game I was just jumping up and down in joy with Syracuse making the Final Four. Do you guys want to? I'll share my NBA game because I'll give you some more time to think about this.
I have one for college, but it's really weird.
Okay, go ahead for college.
It's the Kevin Ware getting injured game.
What is
What's wrong with
I
you?
don't know, man. I don't know.
What
But
is
I
wrong
remember that
with
game.
you?
I remember exactly where I was. I was at my grandma's house in Staten Island, and I was sitting on the floor watching the game. And when it happened, the room went silent. And for whatever reason, that college game has always stuck in my mind my whole life. So I know that's. I don't know if it's my favorite, and I have to think maybe a little bit harder about my favorite, but that game has stuck in my mind my whole life.
Okay,
I mean, my
Connor.
favorites, like my college teams are really just Pitt and Penn State. And yeah, Pitt was good at the beginning of the decade, but they didn't really have any memorable wins.
Tyler
I've always
Ennis,
just
that buzzer beater to beat you guys. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. So, I've always kind of pulled for the underdog. So I was debating between either Dunk City with FGCU, but I think I have to give it to UMBC going over Virginia. That was just
Oh,
crazy
that
to
one
watch.
hurt
And
so bad because I had him winning it all that year. So
not to mention a free Little
Really?
Caesars like the week
Yeah.
after. So with that special, so I was waiting in line for like an hour, but hey, I got my free pizza.
Yeah. NBA game, this was tough. I'm not going to go with 2016 Game 7. I'm not.
Yeah, that's obvious. I didn't want to
That's
go there
the
either.
Hey, that's mine, man.
Okay.
No,
Because-
no,
listen,
no
that's mine
disrespect.
because that game. It's in between that game and like Game 5. Like that series was like insane.
That's the
Insane.
best basketball we're going
Yeah.
to see for a while.
I think I honestly like I know.
Well, no, KD wasn't in
Yeah.
that. So remember.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course. That's what it made it
Exactly.
more
That's what made it
competitive
so
because
crazy.
it's
Yeah,
so
but
even.
like the best basketball. I mean, the best
Well,
basketball.
no, the best.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like obviously the best team and roster. I'm just saying like the best competition.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, also what's one of my favorite games in like very recent history? This year's All-Star game. I know it's really weird. It's a
Okay.
really weird
yeah.
thing to say, but that maybe not this year's All-Star game, but the fourth quarter of this year's All-Star game was probably the best basketball we've seen played all season. I'll never forget. I believe it was, I think it was Giannis with the ball in the post, and he had Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and one other head like
Kawhi,
this
I think.
over top of him, like that. You can never recreate that picture ever again because
think-
it's the fact that they're playing defense in an All-Star game was something, and to that caliber was special.
It's
So,
the money. And I
yeah.
remember I was like croaking up mucus out of my throat. I had the flu. And I had worked like, what was that Saturday? It was like February 15th. And
I
had
remember
worked
that
like
vividly.
4 games. I worked the
remember,
day
yeah.
before with Jayden on Valentine's Day where he wears this velvet suit with his slick back hair. And I'm
John
like,
worked you to death.
yeah, and I'm working. He worked 4 games. I ended up getting the flu that night. Like my dad has to come up the next day and give me a bunch of drugs to like make me feel better. Jayden thinks it's hysterical.
I remember it so well because you come pull to the game, you're like, dude, I'm not feeling well. And then like, all right, we get through this game. And then after that, you do Bombers. And then the next day you call up, he's like, yeah, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, you know what?
Big Red,
You're
yeah.
good. You're
Red.
more than good.
And then I come Monday radio meeting or something like that. And everyone's like, Dane, you feeling good? I'm like, Connor, you got to name your best NBA game this decade.
I'm debating between 2, and one is kind of obvious is Kobe's last game, just because especially with the significance it has now. But I mean, and now that I just led with that, I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate for my pick, but it's biased. But the OKC game, whenever they staved off elimination against Utah, I think it was the year they had Melo and PG there.
Remember when the Warriors staved off elimination 3 times?
Remember when like
You know, guy, come
I'm not
back.
even gonna
Bullets.
try because the Thunder haven't
Bullets.
done anything. But yeah, just keep pouring on. But no, so like Westbrook, I think they were down, I think 28 at half. I remember just almost going to bed, and then literally they score. I think they went on like a 25-7 run. Like I still have the highlights bookmarked in my Twitter feed. Like I remember seeing this one stat after the game, like in the second half or in the third quarter, I think, players not named Westbrook and Paul George for the Thunder dribbled the ball like 8 total times. Like Westbrook just absolutely took over, and I think that was probably his best game I've ever seen. Not to mention, like, that was the year that OKC might actually have a chance after KD left. So it just meant all that more. Granted, they obviously lost Game 6, but I just think that game was insane with the comeback. So that's probably my pick.
Connor, you mentioned mine, Kobe's final game. I remember I was in bed, I believe. I was starting to go to bed, and not because I doubted Kobe. I think I had something to do the next morning, but I stayed up for some reason. I grabbed my iPad at the time, and I turned it on, and obviously checked the Warriors score. I'm like, oh, they're going to win. And they had that game on ESPN, I believe. They had Kobe's game on ESPN too. And I just start watching the third and especially fourth quarter, and I'm just like pounding like the side of my bed, just going absolutely crazy. I was 15 at the time. Like, it was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. Like, it was you're never going to see that again. It was like he had one final run in him, and he saved it up for that last game. And, of course, those final shots, like, he hit almost every single one of them in the final. I think he did.
He just couldn't script it any better.
You couldn't. It was like a Derek.
You could have scripted better if the Lakers weren't terrible that year.
Well, yeah, like they talk about
really,
the
that's my only thing against that game is that the Lakers were really bad.
Okay, I get the Lakers were terrible.
They were really
That's not
bad.
the point. That's not the point.
Come on.
They won the game. They beat the Jazz.
Yeah.
But at the
It's
same
the only
time,
way
like,
Kobe's going out on a win his
the
final
two
season.
scripted endings. You got the Derek Jeter ending, and then you got the Kobe Bryant ending. Like,
Weren't the Yankees also really bad?
we didn't make the playoffs that year, but you're
You
a
did?
Mets fan. Okay, by the way, be
I was
quiet.
at Wright's last game, and the Mets did suck. What was that, 2017?
Derek Jeter over David Wright.
Yeah. And that was a very That's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay.
It's just
We're not going to argue about baseball.
I'm not
Jaden and I-
stupid.
This is not
Jaden-
turning into a baseball
Jaden and
podcast.
I could go to a real baseball fight because
You see
I
the
would
shirt?
even
You see the
dead.
shirt?
What's the point
You
in
see
even
the
being
shirt?
a Mets fan? Like, I don't get how you become a Mets fan.
You haven't been to the World Series in a whole decade.
Oh.
You just cheated in 2017. It's coming out.
not
It's
cheat in
coming out.
2017. We
It's
did not
coming
cheat.
out.
You guys, like Hub said, the Barstool writer for the Yankees, all you Mets, Astros, how dare they? And Red Sox fans can come out of your caves and, like, come accuse us. But let's
Oh, you turned that
Connor,
the
okay. One more segment, Connor. Okay, we're done. We're done, Connor.
You done?
We're done. Yes,
Good.
we're done. Okay. Now one final segment. Another best moment. Best moment you personally have had in pickup basketball.
Oh my God.
I would say
Yeah,
it's
I
me showing off my shoulders, according to Connor.
Dude
No,
always
just
wears a tank top.
Yeah.
Are we going all time or maybe
Yeah,
just
all
like pick
time.
up
It
and-
can be
pick
like.
up.
Well, the
at home,
funniest
it can be-
one is when I tossed Jeremy to the ground. I murdered that kid. I felt so bad. Both going up for a rebound. We both came down with it, and I just hip tossed him. And I was like, dude,
Hey, this is
he
going
was
on a
just on the
preview of
ground.
the show. This is going
Oh.
on a preview of the show.
Sorry, Jeremy. I murdered you there.
Well, an eventful ending to
What a roller
episode
coaster,
3.
eh?
This
A little bit of a
all-
roller coaster. We have some baseball arguments. We have some shots taken at Connor with the Thunder. And, Jaden's jump ball. I got 0 points. I don't know anyone that has a tattoo. Actually, I do. I have a tattoo myself.
No, you don't.
You
No, I
don't.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
kidding.
gonna
I was
say.
gonna say, no, you
I was
don't.
gonna
No,
say.
I do not have a
He's
tattoo.
like, oh, just got the sleeve when we're in quarantine.
Yeah.
He's fully decked out.
I do not have a tattoo, but make sure you tune in to episode 4 of Dribbling Around next week. Jaden's jump ball. Hopefully, I'll put in a better performance. I mean, was this Connor's first win?
That's my first win.
So it's Connor's first.
Connor's
win.
first
Yeah.
win on Jaden's jump
In
ball.
emphatic fashion.
I'm gonna get back on the W train. Make sure you tune into episode 4. Jaden Becker, Connor Glunt, Dane Richardson. Peace out.
Stay safe.